MSc, MBA, former banker, investment manager, armed pensions, former registrar, fellow, chartered institute of public diplomacy and management. Fellow, say to your neighbor, I read.
I read.
You see this my head? I will read.
I read.
And we are still reading. Oh wow. I refuse to be intimidated. Fellow Society for Project Management. Fellow Institute of Business Diplomacy and Financial Management. Fellow Society for Project Management International. Fellow Association of Technology Professionals. Alumni of Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCOM. Associate member, Nigeria Institute of Management. Nigeria Institute of Management chapter. And is currently the registrar, CEO, Institute of Strategic Public Negotiation of Nigeria. Please clap for me. You are very humble. Okay, now you can now go. Join me to welcome Mr. Victor.
Put your hands together for us. Okay, thank you very much. I want to apologize for coming late. That was because I was speaking somewhere, and even after now, I'm going to be going somewhere else to speak. Without wasting time, I want to first of all thank the foundation for inviting me here for the second time. First was 2019, no, 2018, actually, 2019. And today again, I'm here. I'm grateful for also allowing our institute to, partner with you on this project, and I know God is taking you to places. Thank you very much. He has asked me to talk on the topic, how to discover your talents, or how to discover your potentials and your talents. So I'll be strictly speaking on that, but on the flip side, I'll mention one or two things. So I would like you to be very attentive. Put down your questions that you may want to ask after my delivery. Most of the time when I have opportunity to talk to youth, I start by saying, what motivates you? What is your motivation? What is that thing that wants to make you move? What inspires you? Is it people, or is it the environment, or is it a lifestyle? What motivates you? What gives you an inspiration to do things? At that lowest level or that lowest point, when you feel, oh, can I do this thing? What motivates you? So it gives me joy to have opportunity to talk to you, because we have a mentorship arm of our institute, Institute of Strategic Public Administration. And by God's grace, we train well over 1,000 youths. Well over 1,000. Let me just, be liberal. Because we find out that today, like he was speaking, my brother was speaking, he was talking about youth. Let me not even say youth. Young adult of 14, 15. You see them in social media. Just recently I saw one. There were 3. It was even the smaller one that was speaking for the older. They want to do their work. They want hustle. Once I see such video, what to do is to know where that's the source of the video, so that we can get across such people, take them in, train them, mentalize their mentality of what they have already have. That is what we've been doing. And by God's grace, that has been helping us. So we're going to really partner with this foundation, and most of the time, bring them in Because our core competence is to train people professionally. But because of the happenings today, we decide to go into that aspect. So we'll probably be catching them and bringing them into this foundation because this is the right place that they should be. Thank you very much. Now, how do you discover your potentials and talents? How do you know you have a particular knack or a thing that you can do better or best than anybody? Or something that you have confidence in that when they ask you to do it, you can deliver even 150%. How do you discover these potentials? How do you discover talent? I'm sorry I did this slide. I don't know what happened. My flash didn't copy it from my laptop. I don't know. So I just decided to bring this out. Then we can do it from here. I start by saying the background. Say, look back on your past in trying to discover your potentials and identify your talent. As you reflect in yourself, examine things that you have done. Are you stuck or not know what to do? With the constant peer pressure from the social media, which we have allowed to define who we are, because a lot of people today, they've allowed social media pressure to define who they are. I've always told people will not post their worst picture on Facebook. They will not. They will not. And you cannot tell me they look fine all the time. No. So don't allow those social media things to don't be carried away with it. They are not better than you, I can tell you. So don't allow yourself to be caught in that way of, oh, these people's lives are better than mine. No, don't put yourself there. Then I said it's no surprise anymore that who we actually are get lost in the jiffy and in the shuttle. But once we get away from those identity makers, then we can define what our strengths are and how appropriately we can use them. So at the end of the day, that is why people try to make shortcuts, like our brother said. Because those things have not allowed us to identify ourselves, to identify our strength, to identify our potential, and being able to discover our talent. And I can tell you, as we are sitting here, a lot that you can do that you may not have known that you can. That is because you've not been able to sit down and say, oh, what can I do? Even at this level, I take 10 minutes every day, silent place, alone in my office. I'll begin to reflect on myself. Is this the highest that I can do? I work by God's grace in 3 multinationals. I've traveled extensively by God's grace. In fact, I've lost money. Don't know. If I tell you, you'll be very surprised. But I'm standing. You know why? I've come to know who I am. That is because if I could make those money genuinely, that they thought that, oh, it was made from the backyard. They came, checked, went to Abuja and all of that. I don't just want to measure the number. And it looks like at the point, I had nothing. I had to, friends had to. But I stood strong. Do you know why? Because I discovered who I am. I know my potential. And I know the talent that I possess. So when you know this, nothing can move you. That's what, if you are not taking anything away today, just take that away. That when you discover who you are, you know the potentials that you possess, and also your talent of what you can do with it, nothing can move you. He said something. I'm a slow builder. Because I know who I am. You know why? At the time I started wanting to hold me to ransom. At the time that thing happened, I said, you know what? All of you, bye-bye. I worked alone for like 6 months, get a secretary, and started bringing 1 or 2 people in. You know why? Because I know who I am. And my pastor will say, I know who I am. So when you know who you are, in respect to the potentials and the talent that you possess, trust me, you will fly. Now, I will be telling you there are more, but I will be discussing 10 10 things that will make you discover your potentials. 10. And I will just run through them because of I was doing 40 minutes. So things that can help you identify your potentials and talent. Number 1, take a life assessment. I've just said something about it. Every day I take 10 minutes at least to reflect. Is it the best that I can get? Is it the best that I can offer? When you begin to think that way, you find out that you'll be discovering some other areas that you may be able to do something even better than what you have done. So you must take a life assessment. And let me read this before I elaborate. If you can write, fine. He said, taking life assessment will help you understand who you really are, your performance in different aspects of life, and enable you identify the field of endeavor that requires your attention. Like Pastor Chris will say, identity. He said, identify human need. Also, do personality tests. One of the ways that makes you think. How do you do your life assessment? What are those things that you have done? You didn't even know it's as a result of your talent or your potentials. So at times you need to think about, okay, 15. What are those things that I've done and I've done them better than any other person? So you need to take your life. Can you hear me? Take life assessment of what identifies you, of what you think you can do, of what you think you've done before, and of that thing that you think you can also do better. So you must be able to know what you have done, because if you don't do assessments, you won't know how far or what your performances are. So, and as a result of that, you will not be able to know the area. Okay, thank you. You will not be able to know the area you are best with, or the area that you can, do even better. Then you'll be able to pick that thing instead of you roaming around. Once you identify that thing, begin to build it, begin to foster in it. Like myself, I already knew I would be talking on this. I thought I spoke somewhere today. I'm here now, and I'm going after now. I already knew. So what was I not doing? I try not to develop myself in that area. How was I developing myself? I read books. I attend seminars like this when it comes to public speaking. I look at people who are public speakers. I borrowed from their experience, their gesticulation, even some grammar, even some line of their words. Putting all of these things together has made me a better speaker. So you must take life assessment. That is one step to discover your potential and talent. Then the second, find what makes you feel strong or good. That thing you do, no matter how hard, you still feel very okay. Identify it. Like now, I can talk. This is the second place I'll be speaking at. If I have the fourth film, I will go. I don't get tired because I like talking. I like audience. I like facing people. I'm not afraid. I told somebody, I said, I can speak at the United Nations. I'm not afraid. There are people who have stage fright. They can't talk. I don't look over you. I look at your eyes and talk to you. That is because I've developed myself to that extent. So, find what makes you feel good or strong. When you identify it, you are happy, you don't get tired. Then you know that thing is what you can do. It's one of your potentials. And that way, whatever it is, can be your talent. Because a lot of people don't know when they are displaying talent. There are people who can dance, but they've never ever danced. They just say, I'm ashamed. No. Take a bold step and go forth. Attack that thing. And you see that you even come out the best. So, and I said, sorry, this light is giving me a lot of comfort. Don't worry, I will try. Say, ever have those moments When everything feels easy and light, when you do things, it looks so much easy and it looks light. But looking at it, this is a weighty job before you. But in doing it, it looks very easy. When you find yourself in that space, know that these are your potential. These are things that you can do okay. And it could be your talent. There are people who are motivational speakers. Like he said, we don't want to listen to motivational speaking anymore. We want to do motivational things. There are people who can motivate you. They will talk to you. No matter how downcasted that you are, you pick yourself up. There are people who are good listeners. I listen a lot. You can talk for 1 hour, I'm listening to you. Even when I have to interject you, but I just hold it back. There are people, but there are not people. People, they are being paid just to listen. Because they want to listen. I was talking about branding. There are people who are, most of these call centers, there are people like MTN, they do it. That's why you see they are excelling. They will not say anything. They will just listen to the complaint. They analyze it, they come out with it, then you see they are rolling out, and people are rushing MTN. That is one of their secrets. By God's will, be able to do 1 or 2 consulting for them, and you'll find out this is what they're doing. So you could be paid for just listening and analyzing. So it's a talent. You'll be able to, know. You see, a lot of areas that people neglect today. Or even when you know, but you don't know, you can do this. So this is a time, this is a time to think outside, not just the box, but a bit further from the box. Discover that thing. Be attentive to yourself. Something can just come up. Be attentive. A lot of people are not attentive. It's like prayer. Some people pray and they don't listen to God to answer them. They just pray. They just let them know. When I pray, I wait. So be attentive to yourself. So even when I meditate, like I said, I take 10 minutes. I will listen. There is something that it might not be too big, but there is something I must jot down. So these are the ways to develop yourself. I usually say, if I know these things when I was your age, 15, 14, even at 20 or more, I will fly. But we knew these things when we already had struggled out of the university, trying to, I will begin to, understand some certain things. But you are lucky today, you are favored today because you belong to this foundation or you have a foundation that organizes a seminar of such. I'm telling you, it's a favor and grace. So let's put our hands together after God exclusive. When we are drawn towards a sense of ease, that is usually our usual talent, scout speaking up. When you are drawn to things you do easily, with flair, with finesse, you understand? Know that you are drawn to your talents. Know those things. For example, I have my mom, their last born is my age mate. He sews with ease. As a kid, didn't go to school. He didn't really finish secondary school with that portfolio. He has discovered this right from day one. He sews with ease. Some of the natives are there. It's in Abuja. He meets them. And if you see them, and I saw for a celebrity, a Christian musician. You see him, he's one that you so to speak. So when you discover what you can do with ease, you know that talent is sprouting like a seed that has been planted. Or that talent is speaking to you. Yeah, this is me. So take advantage of it. So number 2, find what makes you feel strong. I'm not going to be reading on the text, on that because of time. Then 3, say find what spends the most money on. What do you spend your money on? I buy books a lot. What are those things that not just buying clothes, things that will make you develop yourself. I buy books a lot. I read, and most of the books I buy are books on public speaking, human development, human capital, and all of that. So when you see that you are tend towards that way, okay, I train people. That is what I do. But I work in the banking, the day work, the banking sector, like 6 years. I was also at the ARM pension, another 6 years. I was at Airtel. You know, I didn't just find fulfillment. But when you begin to do those things that within you, you are seeing fulfillment, then it means that is where you can foster better. That's where you can develop better. Don't hesitate from today on to identify that thing wherever you find yourself. It will help you a long deal. You know why? When you do things with ease, you do things that they'll be, this person is hardworking. No, you are just doing that thing that makes you happy. And people are, like you said, when you continue in that thing, people are seeing you. Let me give you a story. I follow Yemi Osibanjo, the vice president, a lot on Twitter and on Facebook. Just on Wednesday, as I was just reading, I came into it. I said, this will be good for this program. He said when he was in Unilag lecturing, and the house secretary then, they were typing, not now that he used to. I said he has senior secretary, the middle one, there's a name he called it, then the junior secretary. He said, but most of the time, when he needs somebody to type things, you'll find out that the senior and the second in command, they don't go out. They keep on using this junior secretary. He said, a day now came, was consulting for the then minister of Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Bola Ajibola, who also later became the president of the court in AIDS. And while he was in AIDS, Prince Bola Ajibola called him, the Osibanjo, and said, I need a typist. I need a typist. Then they were still typing. It's okay, I'll look for one. And immediately his man went to that junior typist. That's how he recommended him. Traveled to the aid. The guy, he didn't go to the university. So most of the time, education is good, but your talent can take you far. Another thing that you couple, I'll talk about that, is your attitude. Coupled, because you might have talent, and if you don't have attitude, you go nowhere. Guys, I went to the AX, was working with this. Today is there. It's the AX. Still working, even after the man has gone. All his family, everything, they are all there. He didn't go to the university. He probably may have gone to school there last and then he was just secondary school over there. So discover those things that can make people see you. Do it over time with flair and ease. Then you see that you move to the next level. Then ask your friends what your best and worst quality are. You know some of my friends, growing up, we just sit down and say, okay, we were not born again then, so okay, let me leave that. Let me not use that example. Ask your friends, what are your best qualities? Ensure that they'll be able to tell you the truth, not those that will flatter you. They are the one that will tell you the truth. They'll be bold to say, I know you can cook. I know you can run. You can run. You better go for athletic training. Man, this guy, we used to do all of that then. Ask your friends, your true friends. They will tell you what. By the time they are telling you, please write it down. That will be your potential. That will be your time. So you ask them, what I do better. There are people who are on the negative. At times they say, you do the talk. I say, I talk and you know. That is of the hand. They will tell you the truth. Are you good in mathematics? Well, you say you're good for mathematics. why not do private? They do private lesson for people now. The next thing, just put your number, put it in the neighborhood. All mathematics teachers call. Because most of the time, that subject that you are good at will be your talent. From there, you could grow. And you know what about teaching? When you are teaching, you learn better. When you are teaching, you learn better. So, ask your friends. Even in school, this subject, is it this one? Because most of the time, I used to score 90 in English, government, 1992. But I knew I was better in government. Because English was my... Well, I was better in government, and I took that route. In my NYC, I was teaching. Even when I was not posted to school, I would go to school, I just go and teach. I got so many awards for that. And English language. So with that, after your secondary school, when you are writing jam, see, you can make money. Your talent. You can make money instead of wanting to go. And another thing this will do for you is that when you discover your talent, you get busy. You cannot have time to say drugs, party, hook up, and all of those times. I met somebody, I've been trying to see this lady to do something for me. Yesterday, I had to drive to Mary. He said, I was just doing Shakara. I'm busy. I make sure my work keeps me busy. And you know that it's busy. So those things, what I'm trying to bring out of that is that when you are busy, you will not have time for social vices. You will not have time. Imagine, for example, a mathematics teacher. Maybe like you have like 5 houses calling you a week. You will just be busy reading more to know more and rendering the services. Before you know, say, today is Saturday. Oh, today is Saturday. And you're making money. So ask your friends, what are your best qualities? And they will tell you. And when they tell you genuinely, that is one sure way to discover your potential and your talent. Number 5, ask your parents what you love most as a child. Yes, ask, because, for example, let me read this part. It says, most times the people who have known us the longest are the people who know us the best. People who have known you the longest know you the best. Then they'll be able to tell you, like, those days, like now, we are 9, my family, my father is late, but my mom, 73. We'll have occasion to sit around her, like this last Christmas. My younger brother came for a very long time. So we're just teasing. My mom will say, me, or sorry for you, they will say, come and wash plates. I played football to an extent, but it wasn't just clicking. They will tell you. Then my senior brother will say, we always carry stick. I'm telling you. I'm not saying, do you want to be an hunter? But today it's a senior RI policeman, the elder brother in Lagos. It's a policeman. So you see what they will tell you best when you wait. So we'll say, okay, when you are crying, one of my brother, you put your hand in your nose and lick it. So everybody, then with those who know you the longest, know you the best. So they'll be able to tell you those things that you were doing as a child. Those days we put this milk can in fire to the hot, to bring it out, heat it, to open up, we use it to do motor. Car. I'm telling you, I wasn't good in doing that, but there was one guy, Donatus, he fix it. You'll be surprised that is his talent. Today he's a computer engineer. So he's doing great things. He had worked with, He had worked with a lot of automobile company as an engineer, mechanical engineer. But he was doing those things. So I wasn't surprised. He was working with auto companies. I'll call him and say, "Ah, man, all those your can't wait. Now you won't you laugh over it." So they can tell you, your parents can tell you, or those your guardians, those that you grew up with. Ask them, when I was young, what was I doing? They will tell you. I went to one inter-sport, small school, so I attended the inter-sport. And we have these boys about between 6 and 7 years old. They were to run 100 meters. It was at the point they said, at your marks, get set, go. One of them was now removing his shoes, that he cannot run with his shoes. Removed his shoes, and they still came. After they've gone, and they still came second. He may not know that, if I foster on this. So growing up, you begin to ask people, if I were the parents of that boy, I'll tell him, you can run, or you begin to develop him along that line. So that same way, they can tell you, okay, these are the things you are doing good. There are a lot of people. I have my sister, it's not a tailor, but today he has a machine in his house, in her house in Abuja. Carry needles, and be very practical. I don't want to theorize this, you understand? I'm just being practical with you. If I go theory, we carry needles, sew, and all of that. And he will sew it out very well with needle, threads. At times he will use this cement. Those days they were using paper and cement bag. We use it to sew and all of those stuff. So ask your parents, those who grow up with those things we are doing, growing up, then that can also be a pointer to discovering your talent or potential. Then, number 6, say write down your thoughts. Like I said, I do meditations for like 10 minutes every day. What are those things that are coming up that, you can do? The Bible says, out of our belly shall flow rivers of living water. That means that a lot of things can come out of you. And you know that river carries a lot. River carries a lot. So when the Bible says, it means within you, you have a lot that you can offer. The human, structure, body, thought, brain, soul, that is why, of course, men invented aeroplane, invented a whole lot of things, right? What does that tell you? That within you, there is a lot that you can bring out. So, write down your thoughts as they are coming, as you are writing them down, and you begin to walk along that line. Then you discover that, you'll be able to discover that, yes, these are the things that you can do. That will be your time. And you begin to see your potentials of achieving things. So when you sit down and you take a talk, a time to think about, meditate, what can I do next? What will be the next level? Okay, I've achieved this. What is the next thing? All those things that will come to your mind. Please write that down. So let your thoughts flow into a few pages every day. Some of those things you wish to do, given the opportunity. If today they say, okay, you'll be speaking in this next job exclusive seminar, what will you present? What will you give? What impact will you make? So it is some of those things that you've been doing from experience that you can share. So you have to write it down. Let them flow into some pages of, books. He said, there are streams of circumstances. The stream of consciousness writing can be very effective in identifying your talents. Some of those things that will come, okay, yes, I can do this, okay. See, paper and pen are great, tools for you to develop yourself. And when you hear people talk, and that tickles your fancy concerning what you do, write it down. When somebody has done something concerning that thing you like to do, write it down. You can replicate it and find out that you can even do it better. So it is imperative that you write it down. It is very important that you write. Write your thoughts down about an opportunity given to you. As you begin to think about it, as you begin to meditate about it, write down those thoughts that will come from it. And he said, what this will do for you is that go back to what you have written down over time, reread them again. You will notice a lot of your thoughts, a lot of your thoughts cycle back to. By the time you are comparing your notes, then you see there's one thing that is common among those things that you pen down. Then that can be a pointer to your potentials. Then he said, look for talents in others. Look for talents in others. Oh, this person does this. I think I can do it too. You know, don't be jealous about it. That is why I want to read this. He says, sometimes be inspired by others' talent makes us realize what we are good at too. So conversely, if you see talent in others and get jealous, don't worry. We all do at times. You can use this to your advantage as well. Simply tell the person to mentor you. Simple. Reaching out and seeing talent in others will open up opportunities and connections while helping you define your own. So when you see talent in others, don't be envious. Don't be jealous about it. And be very humble. One very short thing that can take you to the top is humility. It's humility. I belong to a club, and we were just there, nobody serving us. And after the whole thing, I just saw that some places were messed up with, bottled water, somebody just saying, why not? I just was speaking then, and a man saw me and I said, okay, please see me when we are outside. I said, okay, fine. I went when we were outside. I said, okay, you said you put so and so. I said, yes. It's okay, this is my card, see me. I got a job from that. Humility is key. So now, you must be able to look for talents in others. Because some people may not find a way, may not be able to harness some other points that we have talked about. But you see people do things. You look at them and you know, okay, I can do this as well. Not being jealous or envious. But you just say, okay, I can do this as well. Why not approach that person? I want to maybe learn this thing. And I'm sure the person will mentor you. And there are people that they are trained into, a particular trade. And they come out better than those who train them. Am I communicating? So it's just a matter of approaching the person and saying, I like this, I want to be part of it. And before you know, you are dead. Then take stock of your collections. For everything that you'll be doing, take stock. It's important. Because how many minutes do I have? How many minutes do I have? 5 minutes. 10. I still have 10 minutes. Okay, all right. Take stock of your collections. It's like the media we consume says a lot about what we value. But what we own sometimes, even larger. What are we saying? What is it that person to say? We find out that what do you like to watch? What do you want? What imposes your what do you place value on? There are a lot of people they go to see movies a lot. They spend money on movies. Just they spend money on movies. What is that thing that attracts you within the media space? Today they'll be doing what is it called? Maybe this singing competition. Yeah, I don't watch. I don't think it's not my thing. Well, I see a lot of people want to watch music. It's good. You know why? It tells you because okay, I can sing, I like singing. So it can be a pointer to telling you that This will be your talent. And you enjoy watching it, and as you're watching, you're getting something out of it. How you can sing without breathing into the microphone and all of those stuff. Like he said, somebody is earning much from fiber what? Fiber. Just teaching people how to sing. He didn't just get to that place one day. He has gone for courses, he has listened to people, he got attracted to when it comes to music and all of those stuff, and he knew that, oh yes, I can do this. And he's making money out of it. Then in number 9, he said, remember what you have been thanked for. What is that thing that you did with flair and finesse? That you easily render. And every other time, people thank you. Every other time, people are thanking you for that thing. What is that thing? When you do so, thank you so much. Anywhere you go after, you need to pay attention. Not just welcome thankfulness or people appreciating you, but thank you. Don't get home and thank you. You must identify why you're thanking you. That will just be your talent. That will just be your potential. If you discover your potential and your talent, I tell you, you will so love it because it is something that you're already doing and people are thanking you for it. It will take you to places with the right attitude. So these are some of the things that will help you develop yourself into that thing that you want to do. And like I said, when you begin to discover these potentials and you are not finding yourself in it, you are not exerting yourself in that thing, you will not have time to say, I want to engage in social crisis. Most of the time, or most times, it is boredom, then peer pressure, and the knack and desire, evil desire, to become something just in a jiffy or in a short period of time. But when you see that, when you see people, in life going smoothly, steady, consistently, then the rest assured that person is heading for greatness. So if you don't take anything away today, I want to tell you that it can be slow and steady. He said so when he spoke. When my brother spoke, he said something like that. A lot of people want to brand, but they don't want to do the right thing by building the basics, the foundation. We were watching, when we watched a Nations Cup, the Super Eagles won 3 matches, and by the 4th, they beat us. I was listening to FM, one very mountain Tony. He said there was no foundation. He said he thought the foundation was strong. That foundation wasn't strong. And when it comes to where it matters, the foundation crumbled. For those who are seeking for shortcut, the foundation will fall. Should I give you, I'm bold to say it anywhere. I should give you a typical example. Hush up. It's cooling off in America today. In one cell, it's there. So I tell you, America will not release it soon. It could be there for life. But they will release it maybe by the time it's 70, 80. They say, okay, go. And at that time, life don't pass. That's like a typical example of a false foundation. Don't be ever carried away with it. Don't be ever carried. See, me, I don't envy you. The friends I have, he knows. Everybody I know, right from cradle, most of the friends I have from cradle. As in, maybe we're living like, I'm done, the same street. Fred, on the same street. Even Joe Praise, in what it was, but that Joseph, not that Joseph Praise. That's why today we can enter ourselves and say, hey, irrespective of the status, everybody appreciates. First foundation, today they are doing well, and I know that this is a sustainable blessing. Let me put it that way. So discover how your talent can make you rich. That is why we are talking about it. It can make you make money. I want to be practical. When I'm with you, I go practical with them. You can make money. Discover, if it's English, you can teach well. After your secondary, I'm not saying when you are still in school. I'm good in English. Put it out within your neighborhood. Ask teacher, put your number. If you don't have a number, put the person that they can reach. They'll pay you. Do you understand? Or anything that you think you are good at. Develop yourself in that thing. Because there are people who discover their talent, they just left it there and they've not done anything, no development, no training. Like Pastor told us that one man was just good at repairing Citron. And the father used to have one that even bequeathed to him, Pastor Chris. You know? And the man didn't learn any other, repairing of other vehicles. Other vehicles involved. Peugeot came. Toyota came. The man was still repairing Rolls Royce. And at the time, now Rolls Royce was no longer in the market. And the man has to go to the village because he didn't develop himself into other things. So you must develop yourself when you discover that talent. It's not just enough to say, okay, I've discovered my potential. It's not just enough to say, oh, I know, yes, I'm good at this thing. Consistently, you must understand the contemporary thing in that your thing that you are doing. Then you will be relevant in the society with what you do. And finally, then be open to change. You have to be open to change, and that's exactly what I, naturally go into. What are the contemporary things? What are the new things coming into this industry that I am in? So you have to place yourself. Until and except you do this, no matter how the bundle of talents that you have, you might not go far. So we should understand that it's not just enough to discover our potentials, to discover our talents, but it's also good that we develop them in a contemporary manner. Which means you have to know, let me use the word, you have to update your talent. Update that thing that you do. You cannot do one thing the same way over time and want to get a different result. It's not possible. So you must be able to know that, yes, this is what I do, and ensure that you are following the trend of it. So on this note, I want to say a very big thank you to the Lord. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this evening and for status. My question is to Mr. Victor. I was blessed with his illustration. He said something concerning the young ones, the videos being seen online, and I was expecting maybe to elaborate the steps they took to reach out to the source of the videos. Maybe you can share some of the experience to help us, maybe I can follow that trend to get to these young ones and maybe talk to them and reach out to them. So my question is, what are the steps you took to reach out to the source of the videos? Because any of us that can decide to take up from there and reach out to them.
What we do basically, to have a mentorship arm at institute. When we see what we do, it's not all we are able to get this now in the same world. But what we try to do basically is to be able to help these people. We want to bring them out. So we trace the video, how did you get it, where it came from, like that, because at the end of the day, you now find out the original source. Then when you get the original source, I'm not telling you the location. Maybe at times it could be Ogun State, at times it could be River State. So what we do, we go, try to get these people and train them. Just to remove their mind, radicalize them from that mentality and ensure that a lot of them have over 1,000, but not all of them came from that source though. So it's just to be able to say, okay, for example, I got it from a group. Then I'll call the number of the person that posted it. How did you get it? I got it from so and so source. Then please, can you give it to me? And before you know, you begin to trace it down and we bring some of this. But some may not be got. To an extent, you've been able to get some of them, and God is helping us. Thank you very much. God is pleased from the source. Joy Exclusive Foundation had a program today titled Inspiring the Youth. It's definitely an effort-making event, and I'm glad I'm part of this movement. And it's good to see that as a young lady who's trying to inspire youth and ensure that you become something in the future. Today we talked about how to discover your talent and also how to brand yourself for value. For me, definitely these are things that will definitely inspire the impact of their future as they learn and become something, better to the society. Thank God that this foundation is doing this. And we pray that God will continue to give her the grace to do this and ensure that the youth that she is teaching will be able to learn and do something better. And with this, we know that to an extent we have a future in this country. Like I said before, I'm glad that I'm part of this movement, and I believe it shall be from glory to glory, even more better things ahead with the foundation.